Welcome to the Datacap Golden Demo for the public sector. I'm Brittany Moore. I am a ECM CTP, and we also have Alan Dranko, a Datacap specialist. We're excited to provide this demo as a template, and we want every CTP to customize this demo for your customer. And in the demonstration portion, use documents that are relevant to your industry and upload your own version of this golden demo for us to see. So let's get started. We work with governments around the world, and we're seeing similar challenges they're facing. The need for increased transparency and accountability, economic and budgetary pressures are constant, and customers have an increased expectation for governments to deliver on their missions and services almost instantaneously. And because of those challenges, agencies need to reduce administrative waste, reduce lost information, and reduce the delays in benefits and services. This is all around increasing citizen satisfaction. And we've created solutions that are custom built to help our clients thrive in this environment. Datacap does this through capturing and digitizing documents, which allows for quick retrieval and huge savings on printing and storage costs. So what is Datacap? It's not just an industry-leading document capture solution, but it solves a problem traditionally unsolvable. And it does this because it's not only able to capture the data, but with cognitive Watson technology that only IBM has, it can understand what's in that data. Ultimately, it's a platform that can solve problems and speed processes throughout your entire organization. And the result for you is faster citizen response time, lower cost of operations, and superior automation. Capturing alone is great, but many agencies get the real benefits when they integrate Datacap to get their work done faster. You have the ability to integrate Datacap with any ERP, HR, or collaboration system like Box. Specifically, Datacap has built-in integrations with Box that help agencies improve engagement with citizens and increase employee productivity. But you can also use Datacap with Case Manager. So once a form is scanned and understood in Datacap, agencies can automatically make sure that the right department is notified immediately. And we helped the Illinois Department of Human Services save $1 million from their annual budget and streamline processes with Datacap and its ability to integrate. But more on that later. As we work with governments, we see lots of unpredictable documents in addition to forms. Many of the documents that come in have completely unpredictable formats, and the content that comes in is unpredictable as well. It's traditionally been impossible to automate, and agencies really struggle to find that information. So think of correspondence or documents that have to be submitted as a part of an enrollment package. Traditionally, it was impossible to find, for example, a buyer or seller name in the document on the right because that information is buried inside paragraphs or a 75-page contract. So these documents, correspondence, loan origination, documents associated with enrollment packages, and contracts were traditionally unsolvable with traditional document capture solutions. To solve this problem, we brought cognitive technology that leverages machine learning and analytics. This capability is called Datacap Insight Edition. And with Insight Cognitive Capture, you can recognize documents and extract keywords from documents that have never been seen before. And agencies who take advantage of Insight Edition are seeing dramatic improvements in their productivity, especially with high volumes of captured documents like lengthy contracts and hundreds of thousands of correspondence. They're able to recognize and classify key information wherever that is on the document automatically. And this is truly game-changing technology that no other capture solution has. It does this by processing documents the way humans do. First, it examines the layout for what document type this could be, then reads and analyzes the contents to draw conclusions and take action. This is a very exciting new technology that solves a long-standing problem that was previously unsolvable. I just wanted to mention it to you as the direction that Datacap is going and make you aware of what many of your peers are currently investing in. Now I'll zoom out and give you a high-level overview of Datacap. It follows three simple steps: source, transform, and deliver. Datacap can ingest documents from scanners, faxes, emails, mobile devices, ECM solutions, or web services, and it gathers all of those images, PDFs, emails, faxes, Word documents, text, and moves them all into the transformation step. Transformation is where all the heavy lifting occurs, and this is the real muscle of the solution. It's broken down into three parts: classification, extracting metadata, and preparing the data for extraction. For classification, Datacap uses 8 techniques that automatically classify information, including separator sheets, barcodes, and many other different classification tools. Once the document is recognized, Datacap goes to work to try and locate all of the relevant fields from the document. This includes traditional items such as fields, line items, signatures, checkboxes, and more. And any and all data that is selected can be routed to an operator for review. For instance, if a value that was expected was not found in a specific field, operators can be sent the document for review and correction if necessary. And Datacap also mines for hidden data using cognitive capabilities from Watson's natural language understanding. For example, cognitive capture can extract and mine a document for the hidden metadata that are normally difficult to find. And it understands what a letter is about. In this case, it understands that this is a complaint letter about a fall. And finally, Datacap prepares all of this information for export. So if the end result is a searchable PDF, it prepares that PDF. Finally, Datacap delivers that data to any specific repository, application, database, case management solution, or BPM tool that you specify. I've described Datacap, and now Alan will show you Datacap in action as it tackles the common use case of needing to ingest forms. Alan?
The goal of this demo is to showcase some of the most common features that customers usually request, which include scanning and classifying documents, extracting metadata from those documents, utilizing database validation, signature checks, monitoring Datacap processes through the dashboard, roles-based redaction, as well as mobile capture. We will start out by going through a quick introduction to the use case. This demo will be focused on a state municipality human resources use case where a new member has applied to be enrolled into the municipality system by submitting the required new member application and the beneficiary nomination forms. We will walk through the ingestion process of these new forms and the subsequent request for additional documents such as an ID from the applicant through mobile capture. The first step in the capture workflow involves scanning documents, whether from a physical scanner or ingesting documents from an electronic format. Before we get started with the scanning process, I would like to quickly review the sample documents we will be using. The first file is the membership application form, which contains multiple different types of information. We will be extracting most of the field metadata present, such as social security numbers, address, performing signature checks, and also the checkbox selection extraction. The next sample is a beneficiary nomination form. Beyond just the standard metadata, this form also contains line items that we will be extracting. We will start by logging into IBM Content Navigator, which enhances business processes, improves productivity by transforming how content is accessed, delivered, and presented. It uses a powerful, easy-to-use interface that delivers trusted data quickly, no matter where the content is located or what type of data source. As you will see in this demo, we will be using Content Navigator as a single portal to access both Datacap and the repository. In the same manner, other applications could be accessed via Content Navigator, whether IBM applications or third-party repositories that are CMIS compliant. We will be logging in as a scan operator user named Tim. Since his role is restricted to only scanning and uploading documents, the UI is adjusted to his role set. He can see batches that are in process without the right to edit them. All of his actions can be seen on the left side: scan and upload. After clicking scan, the scan screen loads. In this UI, Tim is able to scan by selecting a scanner that is connected to the system or browse to a folder to select documents. We will go ahead and use the browse function. We will select the samples we showed earlier and scan them into the system. We are given a quick preview of the scanned items. At this stage, no content has yet been processed by Datacap. This is just a preview for Tim to determine if the scanned items are of sufficient quality and to see if there is a need to rescan or reorder a particular page, as well as rotate and fit the screen if need be. If all looks well, he can go ahead and click Submit. The Submit action generates a batch with the selected content and prepares it for ingestion into Datacap. At this stage, the content could be automatically uploaded to Datacap. Optionally, we could allow the content to continue residing on the system until Tim decided to upload. This could be useful in low bandwidth scenarios where the upload of content would be restricted to certain times. Once Tim clicks Upload, the content is uploaded into the Datacap system to begin the capture workflow processing. At this point, Tim's job is done with this batch. He is able to start another scan job and continue scanning. We will go ahead and log out as Tim and log in as Tracy, our verification and validation user. So far, we have covered the scanning step in the capture workflow. We walked through how IBM's Content Navigator is able to adapt to the user's role and tasks, allowing users to use the same portal for all their applications, lowering training times and user ramp-up. We went through the initial scanning steps of ingesting content and checking scan quality, as well as uploading the scanned content to Datacap for the next step in the capture workflow. We will now walk through the next step in the capture workflow: verification and validation of the extracted metadata. We log in as Tracy, the verification and validation user. Notice that some of the different UI elements present as compared to when Tim logged in. Since she's not a scan user, her role is restricted to just being able to verify batches and nothing else. We will go ahead and launch the verification step in the capture workflow of the documents we just scanned. At this stage, Datacap presents documents for review when a particular field has failed validation or did not meet a confidence threshold for recognition. On the right is the batch structure, which shows all of the content that was classified into specific documents. In the center are the extracted metadata fields. On the left is the preview of the current page. The fields in the page are determined by which document or page is selected in the document hierarchy on the right. If we click upon a particular page, it will change the view of the viewer and the fields to correspond to the selected page. Documents are sent to verification only if they have failed a certain validation or failed to reach a threshold. If a batch contains multiple documents and only a few failed validation, while the rest succeeded, the batch will be split and only the failed document set will be presented in the verification step. The rest of the successful documents will continue on with the capture workflow into the export step. If there are any issues with the batch hierarchy, it is possible to move pages between documents as well as disassemble and join documents by using the Actions menu in the batch hierarchy. To allow a bit more real estate working with the fields, Tracy will go ahead and minimize the batch hierarchy since there's no need to reorder any of the pages at this time. The layout of the fields are customizable by configuring a verification panel for the page type. It's possible to configure the position of the fields, size of fields, labels, groupings, as well as a multitude of other options for the layout. As you can see in the layout, we have created a tabbed layout with multi-column collapsible groups. It's possible to specify which group is opened by default. This allows for a much easier navigation of the fields as they relate to the document. In the field area, the fields are displayed as well as the snippet of the area used to derive the field information. It is possible to select other data by using click and key functionality directly from the viewer. A field can have recognition thresholds as well as validations. A recognition threshold would rely on how high the confidence level was when the OCR was performed on this field to extract text, while a validation could be driven by looking at the field and comparing it to certain rules such as, is the field a date, does the format meet certain preset criteria, or it could be checked against the database. Field validation status is color-coded. A white field indicates that it has passed the recognition threshold as well as any validations. A yellow field indicates a low confidence level for the OCR recognition, while a red field indicates failed validation. As you can see, the name field has a low confidence level for the recognition. It is in yellow. We can go ahead and manually adjust the value. As we scroll down, we can see that the date of birth field is in red, which indicates failed validation. It also shows the text box extraction was low confidence. However, we can see that even though the confidence level was low, it was still correct. We are also performing a signature check to see if a signature exists. If it does, we check the sign checkbox, while the checkbox for the employee signature is not checked since no signature is present. We could also employ another method of populating these values through the database validation. Based on the Social Security value, we can do a database lookup and grab any values associated with the record and populate the fields. The fields are automatically populated with the database values. If any of the database values were wrong, it would be possible to update the values in the fields and as a part of the export step, update the database with these new values. When database validation is enabled, the field is hyperlinked to perform a lookup to the connected database on that field's value, in this case the Social Security number. It returns all records that match the Social Security number value. In this case, only one record is returned. We can select the record and populate all of the fields that are referenced in the database for that record. This updates the date of birth field to the correct data from the database. As I'm sure you have noticed, some fields are blocked out in the viewer. This is where roles-based redaction comes in. The redaction feature finds sensitive information in a document or image and creates rectangular redaction annotations to cover the sensitive information. When the documents are subsequently viewed, the sensitive information is hidden from unauthorized users. It's possible to edit the redactions during the verification step by clicking on the redaction and moving it or adjusting its size or reason code. Or it's possible to also add new redactions as well, the end result being exported to FileNet.pa. As we will see later on in the demo, depending on the user role in FileNet, the redaction will be present or editable or not present. At this point, Tracy is done working with this particular document and would want to navigate to the next page of the next document. There is more than one way of navigating through the document hierarchy. It's possible to use the document navigation buttons at the top to jump to the next page, problem, or low confidence field. We'll go ahead and jump to the next page. As we discussed on the previous page, it's possible to create field layouts that are specific to the page being verified. In this case, we created multiple collapsible groups according to the document layout. Sections A, B, and C, and D all correspond to their areas within the document, as well as we added a nested tabbed layout for the last section of the document under section D for the witness and the employee. In this sample document, we can see that Datacap is extracting the checkbox information as well as line item data. Datacap auto-detects line items and is able to extract them just by having the configuration point to the first line. This is especially important in invoice processing, however it can be utilized in almost any form. As you can see, the line items were extracted dynamically depending on which ones were filled in. We can also see that the Social Security number redaction blocks were placed throughout the document where Social Security numbers were detected. As discussed earlier, these redaction blocks are still editable at this point if need be. Once verification is completed and Tracy is satisfied with the results, she is able to submit the documents for further processing, in our case exporting the files to FileNet. The export can be sent to a multitude of different systems, whether file system, FileNet, CM8, XML, database, or a multitude of other endpoints. At this point, Tracy's work with this batch is done, and she is able to start working on the next batch. We will go ahead and log out as Tracy. At this point, we have walked through the verification and validation parts of the capture workflow. We were able to verify content by being quickly drawn to the problem areas through color-coded validation and thresholds failures. We also discussed database validation, allowing to quickly populating and validating metadata through existing databases, as well as line item extraction of table data, which speeds up field extraction without having to configure for each cell in the table. We will proceed to a quick overview of how a supervisor, in this case Carly, will be able to log in and see the different batch statuses, delete aborted batches, and monitor the work performances of her staff through the Datacap dashboard. We will go ahead and log in as Carly Hall, who is Tracy's and Tim's supervisor. She wants to see the status of how the work is progressing, to see if there are any issues that may cause delays in the processing of documents. As you can see from the UI elements, she has access to all of the different functionalities available within Datacap, such as scanning, verifying, fix-up, as well as uploading content. Her attention is right away drawn to the aborted batch. She has the option to investigate the batch, or restart it, or delete the batch. In this case, we will go ahead and delete the aborted batch. After deleting the aborted batch, she goes ahead and accesses the Datacap dashboard to review her staff's batches. Using the dashboard, she is able to quickly get a view as to how batches are being processed, what state they are in, how many successful batches as opposed to failed validation and classification. She is able to dive into problem batches and quickly analyze how well her staff is doing. If she sees any problems, she is able to contact the right person to address the issue. She is also able to view team statistics to see how well Tim and Tracy are doing with their work, as well as OCR accuracy if there's any specific documents that are causing issues with the OCR recognition rates. She is satisfied with the way things are progressing and can continue on with her activities after this analysis. We just had a brief overview of how a supervisor can view current processes, team statistics, as well as OCR accuracy for particular batches to see how well her staff is doing. We will now dive deeper into roles-based redaction. We have seen how the scripts get created with Datacap. We will now walk through what happens to the rendering of the document depending on which user is trying to view the content. We will start out by logging in as Carly, who is a supervisor and is allowed to see social security numbers. However, she is not allowed to view confidential policy items. Then we will log in as Dave Adams, who is not allowed to view any PII information. The final user will be an administrator who is able to create and edit the redactions that were supplied by Datacap. I will begin by logging in as Carly into the FileNet repository. She will browse to the exported documents and select the first ingested form. One of the key items to note is that regardless of the document access pathway from within ICN, the content will be redacted based on the user role requesting the content. For example, the thumbnail preview is also redacted. The redaction are not only applied at the viewer level. When viewing the form, it is possible to see that the redactions that we created during the verification phase with the confidential security reason is applied. However, the social security number redaction is not present, since she is allowed to view social security number data. We'll go ahead and open the next document as well. And as you will see, all of the social security numbers should be visible for her since she has access to see the social security number data. At this point, I'm going to log out as Carly and log in as Dave Adams, who is an employee of the state municipality, and he will log in to process the forms that have been ingested through the capture workflow. He logs into Content Navigator and accesses the FileNet repository. He looks at the latest ingested content and launches the SMMA12 form, the same one that Carly used beforehand. Notice that both in the thumbnail preview and the document view, the social security number was redacted, as well as the additional confidential name that we have selected to redact as well. It is not an editable block. It is a permanent block since he is a user who is not allowed to view social security numbers and this is sensitive data is redacted. We will now launch the SMMA 14 form, which has the line item data with multiple social security numbers in them. As you can see, since Dave Adams is again not allowed to view any social security numbers, all of the data within those line items is automatically redacted. And again, one of the key things with line items is that there's no need to specify each individual cell within the table, rather just specifying the first row and Datacap automatically picks up the rest. I will go ahead and log out and log in as a P8 admin user. The P8 admin user has the rights not just to view PII information, but also create and edit existing redactions. When creating a new redaction, these redactions will again become role-based, since he can specify a particular role to be applied to that particular redaction. We will go ahead and browse those exact same documents. As you can see, the thumbnail preview does not have any redactions present on it, as well as when we launch the document will have the redaction blocks there. However, they will be editable and movable, as well as the ability to create new ones. One of the key things to note about roles-based redaction is that there is only one version of the document stored in the repository. Depending on the user, a different redaction script that were created with the Datacap are applied at view time to the rendering. There is no need to store multiple redacted versions of the same document. We have walked through how roles-based redactions are utilized to protect PII data through roles and editors. Protecting PII data is imperative to maintain compliance with government regulations as well as maintaining customer loyalty by not allowing sensitive information accessible to parties that should not be privy to it. We showed the content being exported to FileNet, which could have started a workflow within Case Manager. As part of the case workflow for the application process, Dave notices that there is no applicant ID present. He notifies the applicant that they need to send over an ID. In this next step, we will showcase how the applicant can utilize Datacap mobile application to scan and process their passport in order to provide an identification for the application process. The applicant accesses the Datacap mobile application to upload and scan their ID. Datacap Mobile is able to use the mobile camera to automatically recognize documents and take a photo without the need to press on the screen. It will deskew the image and prepare it for indexing. It can do on-device OCR as well. Optionally, we can take an image that exists in the phone's gallery, which we will use in this case. We can remove taken images by swiping the image upwards, which leaves us just with the gallery image imported. It is possible to turn on the flash by clicking the flash icon on the top right corner, as well as set the black and white photo. Once satisfied with the photo, we can go ahead and click the check mark on the right and proceed to index the document. A preview of the file is displayed, as well as metadata that we can populate on the bottom. It is possible to populate the data manually by typing or by selecting the text directly on the image. We will select the name on the screen by using the pinch and zoom capabilities. We will select the given name by using the on-device OCR. We get a preview of it as well as it entered automatically. We will then manually type in the surname. We can also specify document type if there were additional documents that need to be sent, as well as document name. Once we are satisfied with the indexing, we have the option to save the image. In case there is no internet connection, or if we want Wi-Fi connectivity to upload the image, we can wait until we have the correct connectivity and then upload it. We will go ahead and upload it directly now. Once the upload starts, a notification is present in the top right corner. Clicking it will show the upload progress. On this screen, it is also possible to select different Datacap mobile applications from a server perspective, and which Datacap server to connect to by clicking the Applications tab at the top. This allows to add additional applications and have the mobile application utilize multiple applications at the same time. The Datacap mobile application is provided as an example of what's possible. It is best to take the SDK and build the mobile application to suit your particular needs rather than taking the out-of-the-box demo application. We will now log in as Dave Adams to verify the imported passport ID into the folder that was previously created. We can see that the ID was imported into the FileNet location, as well as the metadata that we specified was imported as well. We can go ahead and view the document and see the imported ID. We have walked through the capture process from a mobile perspective for Datacap. We use the phone camera to capture an image, as well as import an image from the gallery on the phone. We use different image tools to select text and index data on the document as well, and then imported it and viewed it within FileNet. In this Datacap Golden demo, we have walked through the entire capture workflow. We have scanned content, we have verified and validated the content through multiple different aspects, as well as we utilize the Datacap dashboard to monitor the processes involved. We worked with roles-based redaction during the redaction script creation process through Datacap, as well as during the viewing process as how to roles-based redaction scripts are applied depending on the user that's viewing the content. And then as well, we utilized Datacap Mobile to capture content and ingest it into FileNet.
Thanks, Alan. So you saw how Datacap can be used, and now I want to tell you about the business impact it's made at one of our clients, the Illinois Department of Human Services. In 2010, this agency had an estimated 100 million pieces of paper that were stored in manila folders either at a local office or warehouses throughout the state. These files took up space, and the paper-based process impeded worker productivity and the focus on the clients. So DHS sought a solution that could effectively integrate with their over 30-year-old system. And within the first 2 months of using Datacap, we had generated 1.2 million pages of electronic documents, and we're on track to save the state over 7 million pieces of paper annually by digitizing their forms. In addition, this project will also save an estimated $1 million in printer supply cost. And most importantly, time spent retrieving case history documents has gone from minutes down to seconds. Because of our work with DHS and our many other clients and the quality of our technology, we've been placed as the market leaders as 56 out of the top 58 agencies, and we're recognized as leaders in the space year after year in major industry reports, including Gartner and Forrester. But at the end of the day, what matters for you is being able to do your job well. Given the current challenges of doing more with less budget and citizens who want a faster response, Datacap is a core strategic decisions organizations make because it's not just the leading industry document capture solution, but it uses exclusive cognitive Watson technology to understand unstructured documents, solving problems that previously were unsolvable. And this is something that none of our competitors can do. And looking long term, investing in Datacap is investing in a platform that can solve problems and speed processes throughout your entire organization. From basic accounts payable invoices to customer complaint letters to 500-page contracts and beyond. The results for you are faster processing of citizen cases and requests, reduced administration and operations costs, and enhancing employee productivity. So we have exceptional cognitive technology. We're the leaders in this space, and we have the experience serving government clients. And we look forward to working with you soon. Thank you.